Oh, slow cooking bro. Well, reptar, you getting hungry? Ooh, last cup of coffee. Really, if I get just one viewer, I'll feed it. Quit peeking. I guess nobody wants you to eat, reptar. Reptar, are you hungry? Hello. Well, we're just getting ready to feed reptar. mealworms, lettuce. A little enticement. A little lettuce. Dang little pieces. Uh-oh. That was all it took. Freeze-dried mealworms and romaine lettuce. Does it look good? You wait for it to move? This is a total difference between the live and the freeze-dried. All that live has to do is flick that little bit of its body. He'll jump halfway across the cage. Hey, maybe you want a cricket? Live crickets are fun to watch too when the weather changes. What was that? It's like fish. They just can't resist that strike if it moves. One of his favorite things are those little red chunks, pellets that you can't get at Walmart or Meijer by our house anymore, and you can't order them on Amazon unless you spend another $25. No, he's only actually just full grown. That's a pretty big meal. The biggest things he ate were the giant mealworms. I've got those up to about 1.5 inches long, but just a couple of them. If I spent the money on the bedding and put them in. But he likes the lighter green romaine, don't care for the really dark green stuff. And really, if you've bought the bedding, you can get a couple thousand mealworms for like less than $30, and that pretty much would set you for life. Plus, you can fish with them. I tried to take the freeze-dried ones out, not thinking. And my grandson's like, you can't put them on the hook. They just fall apart. Well, try the crickets. Oh, they're just like stuffed powdered. So those didn't work. There we go. Dinner time. Gotta have that lettuce. I almost picked up a partner in a rescue that was sick, but it was a male, and I can't have a second cage in my room, so 2 males together are iffy at best and really, really painful at worst. Now, I've heard, I mean, there's 3 or 4 people online that go live that have bearded dragons that they feed them all kinds of fruits and vegetables. I have this one issue with that, in that as a child I got 3 or 4 different times I got hamsters, and I took care of them really good for a couple of months, and they were real healthy, so I would think, okay, extra treat, I'll give you a piece of celery and a little chunk of carrot, and sure enough, they get diarrhea and die. Took about 3 times, I mean I was under 10, to figure out that I was killing them. So we tried kale. Boy, neither of us liked kale. He wouldn't touch it, and I tried it and steamed it, and butter and bacon grease, and yeah. So we don't have to buy kale. But it's a little ironic because of the weather. It's actually the coolest in his cage in August. I'll run the heat lamp at night and the light at day, but pretty much the rest of the year I run both. Run the heat all day and the heat all day and night and the light during the day. And I usually use 14 hours. They only call for like 10 to 12. Yeah, when I got them, they were feeding them uh, whatever the lettuce was. It was in stalks, like it was like a foot long, and they'd hold it in the cage, and he'd actually eat the sides right off it, and then he'd have that white middle. So when I got them, I took what they had and I switched over to romaine, and then I added. They had fed it crickets a couple of times. Well, their story of crickets was great because my grandson opened the box, like tear it open, and they had 300-400 crickets running around in his room. But I did the crickets because they did, and then I read up on the mealworms, and I read up on the comments on them, and then I talked to somebody else, and they said, well, you buy them from a ranch where they sell them all the time. Don't, try and get something at a gas station or you never even know where the fish stores get their stuff, so don't get stuff from there. Well, Amazon has some really nice co-companies that 2 or 3 different ranches that have the mealworms and the crickets. But I have noticed that if I pull the lettuce right out of the fridge and feed it to him cold, he won't eat as much before he cools down. So I let it set out for a few minutes to warm up. Hello, Clash in Canada. Long time no see. Apparently you beat the odds. Still breathing oxygen, huh? Well, I had a short sabbatical trying to create a relationship that never happened, so. Yeah, he loves, as long as it's not the dark green stuff. And usually when I have the money, he gets the croutons and the live mealworms and the romaine all mixed together, and he still eats all the lettuce, so I'm pretty happy with him. I don't put a lot of calcium on the not live stuff, whatever that white powder is, but I make sure that the live stuff it crawls through it for a while. He's got one deformed foot that he favors in the back, but he's pretty gentle if you don't mess with that. I hear you, Clash. Just once you get one thing out of the way, the other thing creeps up on you. And I've been on it a lot in a long time, because I used to just hit go live on YouTube, and I have a computer, so it let me go live. Now it pulls up some dumbass screen in the dark that you can't use to go live on, so I had to download Streamlabs. And when I download something, I pretty much fuck it up royally and then delete it and start over with the things I learned. And uh, When I learned on computers, it was basic Cobalt and Fortran, so Windows is crazy. Somebody says I should try Linux. No, Flash, it looks like we didn't. Um, she kind of went dark when she went home, but she had been ill for a while and didn't respond, and for weeks. And apparently I'm a bad person, so I did discover I fell right back into my old ways of trying to be happy by making someone else happy. I was very disappointed in myself. I don't know. I don't know if it's over, or if it's paused, or if it's she's just angry. But it's weird. A person says I love you every day for months, and then says you were taking advantage of me. So, well, it's best than the last time when I spent 23 years, and then she said, "Oh, you can't work anymore. Well, we're leaving. See ya." That one took about 6 months of setting out in the woods in the far north of Michigan, trying to figure it all out. I guess this one's I'm not sure what's going on, but I didn't do anything wrong. So if I want to be happy, then I guess I won't be in a bad relationship. No, I worked 70 hours a week for years. Then it dropped to one 40-hour a week job, and then as the pain got worse and worse, I was down to a 4-hour shift I couldn't complete. And she said, "You're lazy. If you don't get a job, I'm leaving you." While they were packing the semi, and my children and my grandchildren, and she left and said, "I don't want you to know where I'm at." So you're sitting there with just the couch left and nothing. No income, no car. The federal government won't help you. The state government won't help you. Hey, you're still married. Oh, so I get to just sit here and die. And I said bullshit to that and took off. Just went out down the road, see what happened, and things happened. I know, Clash. That's how I feel. If they work out where we're together, they work out. If they work out, not. But I just, it's got to be something that makes me happy, not that I fight constantly just to hold on to. Now it sounds callous, but I don't have a lot of years left. I would have loved to share them with somebody, but I also want to be happy. And I'm not blaming her. It's not what I'm doing. Well, I guess you're all done eating, aren't you? Take it all down, just basically the lettuce. It'll warm up, digest a while, and then come back and eat a few of the worms probably later. Well, I went through a whole lot of time setting in the same spot on the side of the mountain watching the sun come up and go down and try and figure out, am I going to live in the past? Is my past going to determine who I am? Does the pain control me? Do I even know how to feel happy? Or am I just a succubus and suck it out of other people? I mean, when you work 70 hours a week plus provide all the meat through fish and venison, you're on neutral most of the time. You sleep an hour and a half once a day and 30 minutes another part of the day, and you keep going. You assume that everything's okay because you're working at it, you're not doing anything wrong, and then you find out the whole time you were just a paycheck. Or security, or I don't want to be that. Well, my pain is so bad that I live in denial and demand that I have fun every day, that I enjoy everything that I can. There are so many things I can't do. I mean, I can't even play catch with my grandkids. We blow bubbles and they play on the sidewalk with chalk, but we go fishing a couple of times a year. And whenever their grandma has to go to the hospital for a doctor, they end up here. So I know what it's like to have joy and to be happy that you have your grandkids or your kids around you. But I guess I don't understand the relationship still. I mean, my first one was short-lived. 23-year-old wanted an 18-year-old, and when I was 20, she wanted another 18-year-old. You know? But if I live in the past, I'll know I'll never develop a relationship if the argument is, well, I remember what other people did to me. I remember one of the only intelligent things I had in AA when they made me go, this one of the guys that wanted to be a sponsor said, you let one event way back in your childhood determine your whole life. At least food for thought. I can always occupy my mind by trying to figure out why there is no present. There's only the future and the past. And because of the time it takes you to ready to deal with what you see, that's the past, not the present. So you can't even see the present. How can you? I mean, if women had ruled the world and men were the subservient to start things out, then we probably would use a lunar calendar since their cycles with the lunar calendar, not the solar calendar. But if I can have faith in things like taking a step and the ground being solid in front of me, then I guess I can have faith that there's somebody out there that wants to share a life. We had a good shot of reptar. That's I've never heard it put that way. I mean, I've lived by life begins one step out of your comfort zone. But that's interesting. Right now, I'm watching some series. I think it's Swedish or something. It's the dubbing is horrible. There's no emotion in their voices, but it's about the 33-year cycle and the wormhole and time travel, and it's how everything's already predetermined and there's nothing you can do to change it. That's as crazy as the multi-universe theory. Every time you make a decision, there's another universe. I mean, you make a billion decisions a second. Literally. At my age, my brain's running so fast that a billion a second is nothing. The amount of universes that would make, it's just, that doesn't make sense. I look at it like you're living in the past, but the present is just there. All you have to do is believe it. I mean, that fits right in with quantum mechanics. So, but I think of science and theology more of a even philosophy. Hey, Flo, is more just hobbies. Life is what's real. How you doing, Flo? Hope you're healing up. Yeah, he had a little salad. Now he's chilling. I see that one of your latest videos said the boys are back. Are you coming up Labor Day weekend? Wow, you do not. Michigan holidays, highways are never fun unless you're trying to hide in a large group of slow moving vehicles. And to get a pin out, this last one I used yesterday to write a check in the car to pay my electric bill, so we shut it off. We've had a little feud since they forced me to give them $80 to hold for the rest of my life until I leave, so that I could have electricity, not because of me, but because I live in a trailer park. So I pay my bill the last day every time I come. And I take a check and I drop it off in the drop box, so they have to walk out and get it. and manually put it in. I could pay online, but if they give me my $80 back, I'm just writing down the email, guys. I'll be with you in just a sec. My 55-inch screen is multiplied 300%, but that's all I can do to read it. When I first started on the internet and they had Hotmail, I thought that it was some kind of dating thing. I resisted electronics as long as I could. All three of my kids has got a hand-me-down phone from my wife before there was finally one that she forced me to take. And I told her, thank you for the tether. Now you'll know where I'm at. Well, Flo, at least you might try to get them on the front side of the screen instead of those stickers you sent me that, hey, Joe, we're on the wrong side, or upside down. How you doing, Joe? You know he was talking about pictures of himself, right? I'll bet she'd hate it more if you were sending pictures of her. I'd say tell her to look on the bright side, but she probably thinks your top of your head is the bright side. Nice and shiny. Well, as long as you're happy, Flo, I hope for another 33 years for you. I have to. It's policy. That's probably why you're still married. Man, Class, you're about the age of my first wife's oldest daughter. And she's 45 right now. I never thought of that, fool. That could have saved me a lot of problems. I was honest. I thought being in a relationship, you were supposed to be honest. So Flo's coming on Labor Day to pick up his hole in the water that you throw money into. See, now I would try being honest. Well, it makes you look less fat than you are or more fat than you are. And forget running. They get you when you're sleeping, and that's worse. All right, well, just stay away from the west side of the Lower Peninsula, because once you get here, you don't go. You'll end up staying here. But there's lots of places to put your boat in. See you, Clash. See you, Flo. Yeah, I'm not going to keep this up much longer. Thanks for stopping in, though, guys. At least I know my internet works. With Streamlabs. After a fashion, anyway. Oh, it says 2 viewers. Wow. Alright, guys. You have a good day. I know I will. We gone.